Oh my God, I went so in on this 909. The most time I've ever spent on a 909 hi-hat was in this tune. There is not a single note that's the same length. Every single one is long, and then there's some triplets, and the velocity is doing like volume. It's honestly throughout the whole song, like there's not a single loop in this tune. And that was because I really wanted it to sound like a live. I wanted the whole like 909 to just sound thumping. There it is with the break and with the kicks. How do you have time to do that? Well, making music's my job, mate. So I only have time for this. That's literally all I do. A couple of like vocal shouts. So they just sort of give the drums a bit of a human touch. The reverb on the clap. That's a really interesting one. So you cannot do this with Valhalla. It's just not possible. Hear it moving. You probably don't even notice it when you listen to it as a standout part. Another little detail. Also with the 909 hat, I've got a ring shifter on there, which is like a Logic frequency modulator. Hear that? And I got a delay on there as well. Timeless 2. Literally doing some delay build up. So there's like lots of different things all doing their own style of build up at the same time. So instead of just like, you know, dragging in a riser from Splice, which I've done as well, but like on top of that, you know, there's a ring shifter building up, a reverb building up, a filtered reverb on the clap, 2 tambourines that sort of randomly come in before the beat for no reason. And it all just sort of adds up to create these really weird moments where you think the music's going to come in and it just doesn't. 2, 3, 4. Huh. You know, that's just one example. It does this over and over again. 1, 2, doom, 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 doom. And like, it never just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, bang. There's a top tip. If you've got like a real main phrase in the vocal and you want to try and get that into the beat somehow, try and take it a bit literal. Probably you guys didn't even notice and no one will, but like, I know it's there. And that gives me great satisfaction to know that like I have a reason for every single thing I did. Everything serves a purpose. A lot of times when you make a tune, the lyrics come up after you've made a beat, for sure. So you want to go back and change things. Quite cool to sort of try and get that into the beat. The kick and the weight underneath it. So you can see I've got some automation on the release. Really short. And then it suddenly like opens up and boom, 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 you know. I like my kicks very short and punchy because it leaves room for loads of sub. And my God, is there a lot of sub in this tune. Like the length of the entire kick is 40 milliseconds hold, 84. It's like 120 milliseconds, which is like boom, boom. You know, it's not like that is fun, but I just need a little pop. And there's also like a kind of acoustic kick over the top. That's the main vibe. Overdrive, transient master, taking off some sustain, and another one, and then put them in. Just tightening it up loads. I'm doing some automation with those transient masters. Just makes all of like the space in the sample come back, and then you cut it out. So the whole drum kit's going through a reverb unit and an EQ, which I'm using like you would use on a DJ effects mixer. Build the reverb up, take out the bass, whatever. I'm just using my DJ brain for these drums basically and messing around with them. Got a nice bit of pre-delay on there, which is going like instead of see? And I think it changes. Yeah, you hear that? It's getting like faster and faster. I was really trying to find different ways to make a build-up feel build-uppy without just sticking a big on there or the obvious ways of doing it. Using things like reverb and space and stuff that you try and kind of do when you're DJing. I was like, I'll just put that in the track. Got some cool automation on here. Oh wow, there's loads of automation. My aim with this was to make it sound as analog as possible, which the beeps are. They're from a real synth. But I wanted the distortion, the H delay, like everything to sound like it's moving and it's like a jam, and see if people would even notice that I'd done it with a mouse. I used to do that all the time with the first album especially. I was like tricking people, trying to make them think that we had a massive analog studio, but we were just doing it all with a mouse. To me, this sounds analog as hell. Each time is different. Each thing is different. First of all, here's the beeps with no plugins. The interesting stuff's here. So it's going through a decapitator on punish mode. No, it's not even on 1. But it just immediately makes it sound analog. On top of that, Decimort doing some Bitcrush. Just adding more analog vibes. Is there another decapitator? Holy shit. I switched the style of the distortion on the drop, and it makes the whole thing go completely mad. That switch I did by mistake. I thought it would just go like, but it goes like whoosh. Never enough distortion. There you go, man. I remember sending this first version over to Howard and my managers and being like, is that last drop like too mad? And we were all like, no, it's never enough. It's never too mad. I was like, yeah, great. That is the actual point. More is more for this tune, without a doubt. Yeah, just like Sawtooth Wave. RC20. I'm using the wobble effect here, but I'm using the mix knob to blend it with the non-phased sound, so you're getting like kind of a weird thing going on. You hear that every now and again? If you're in headphones, you'll definitely hear that. It's going subtle, but I love that setting on RC20. Oh yeah. So I was just messing with the rate. So just for these two, I wanted it to go like. So I just made another track. Again, just to make each bit a bit different. Juno 106. This kind of, it's the like at the transient, like the click at the start of each note. That's one of the things you cannot get from the Tal one. Like it just doesn't do a good pop on the start of the note. I've found that with soft synths generally, to be honest. Like Moogs and Junos, they just have a better entry point when you press the note. You see, like they look like. I know it's a very small difference, but makes a difference to me. Distortion, so running it full, but just on a tiny amount. Oh. Jesus, that's really great. Oh, this is really cool. Yeah, we're going through RC20 and I've got flux mode on the Bitcrusher, which is just making this weird resonancy sound. I'll turn it up a bit so you can... A normal Bitcrusher would just do the same note each day. It would just go... Pss, 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 pss. Whereas this is going... Pss, 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 pss. It's like applying a different Bitcrusher to every note. It's like you'd have 10 Bitcrushers all on a different setting. But with the RC20, you can put it in this flux mode, which is really cool. Thank you. Lots of love.